Hi, welcome back to Hobby Life. This is part 14, I believe, of my Paranormasight playthrough. If you haven't checked out the other parts, I'd recommend you go check them out before watching this one, otherwise you may be spoiled. I think this is the conclusion of the game, just because we sort of reached a conclusion last time. We're just going to be going after the essentially secret ending of the game now. As I said before in the previous video, I'm going to be using a spoiler-free walkthrough just because I don't really want to spend all this time going through old dialogue and stuff while you guys watch me try to figure it out, because that'll take way too long. Um, if you don't like playthroughs with spoilers or not spoilers, commentary or voiceovers, I'd recommend checking out a commentary-less version on a different YouTube channel. But if you've enjoyed my playthrough so far and you enjoy my voices, thank you very much, and thanks for sticking around. Last time the game concluded, so to speak, we spoke with Ayame to figure out like the rest of, or to tie up a bunch of loose ends. Ayame is not the mastermind. She did, however, pick up the talisman from Michio when they hit her with the car, and the talismans turned out to be the yin of the Record of Fates scroll to essentially stop the Feast of Shadows. Um, ended up killing Tetsuo, it seems like, and then we tried to stop the Face of Shadows with Mio and Edio. Um, we figured out that we need the body, mind, and soul of Seiman, so that would be like his lineage, so someone who has his blood, his spirit, which was activated upon the rite of resurrection activating, and I can't remember like what the last one was, but like I'm pretty sure we'll get that. Anyways, right as we were about to like figure out how to do all that, we were approached by Yoko, who has the Whispering Canal curse stone. I'm assuming she might have another one too, but she has the Whispering Canal because like when we tried to walk away from her, we died, and like she's clearly evil or something. Hopefully, we'll get information on that one this time. So let's hop into it and finish this game off. So far, it's been pretty much scratching all the itches I've been having in terms of visual novel. We're also going to be getting the ending for this one where Harue dies instead of Ayame. And I actually did look at how to get this one too, just because I didn't want to spend too long trying to figure out this one for the video. I think it's from here. And I'm not gonna reread the parts that I've already talked about. Okay, I think we have to get to the part where she just talks a bunch. Like I'm gonna put my cursor up on top left here so that I don't accidentally click the wrong choice. I really still like I'm still really disappointed that Tetsuo and Naomi didn't have like she was worried about him at the end, and he did say like I know that the idea behind him saying like, oh, Ayame is my daughter uh was supposed to be like this, powerful moment, but I still also wanted him to admit that yeah, you are born from, you're like, this is where I got you from, but that doesn't mean you're not my daughter. I think that would have been a bit more powerful. I mean, it still made me tear up, but like I think he should have still been honest with her because that's all she wanted from him. She just wanted to connect with him in a way where it wasn't just about him telling her, or like him thinking that he was in control of her life all this time. I think it would have been much more powerful if he told her, it's like, yeah, you might be Nejima's daughter. He sort of did it, but not like directly. But I think he should have just said it directly and said, even though you're like, we found you at Nejima's, you're my kid. And I think he should have said, I still love you and stuff like that. Uh, I think it was this one. Okay, so with the lighter. Okay, so yeah, I guess me just being super honest with her the first time was just... She sure did. Okay, it's time for a beatdown. Jeez, why did you have to try to hide it now of all times? I wouldn't have come if you weren't a curse bearer. Ah, stop! Kick her ass, Richter. This is horrific. I'll be taking her coast on. Whoa, huh? All the haunting clabbers needed was for a source of fire? That was a close one. Now then, what will you do, Mr. Investigator? You're not a curse bearer, so I don't have any reason to kill you. But I won't show you any mercy if you're going to try and capture me. So what'll it be? I still don't know how her curse works. It's too risky to make a move. Your employer's already dead anyway, so there's no reason for you to go out of your way to arrest me, right? It's so weird, like when you've seen an end where they're like sort of nice. I could still do my duty as a citizen and report you, you know. Oh, what a surprise! This is when you decide to suddenly choose the side of righteousness. She was after the same thing, you know. There's no clean hands when it comes to soul dregs. And I still think her motivations are still the stupidest. Well, it looks like you don't have anything to say about that. I'll be taking my leave then. Upon killing Harue Shigima, a fellow curse-bearer, Ayame Tono obtained more than enough soul dregs for the rite of resurrection. However, it turned out resurrecting someone who died a long time ago required an even larger amount. To fulfill her heart's deepest desire, she'd need to harvest more. And she has Nejimas too, so she waited for sun to set for when the Feast of Shadows effects were at its peak. And she used the one-sided Reed's curse stone she had stolen from Fumichika Nejima. With this, she proceeded to kill all those whose personal information she knew, starting with those who mattered least to her. About the one-sided Reed. Yeah, we know that one already. Many of them are random men, gullible and disposable, drawn in by the allure of a female university student. One noteworthy victim among them was Tetsuo Tatsumi, who, being a curse bearer himself, was promptly targeted for soul dregs. She killed her dad? Yo, what the hell? Tatsumi's death threw the investigation efforts into disarray. Lying I really wish she, like, still, like, even if she didn't, like, reconcile in this timeline, that she still had some type of, like, hesitation about it. Afterwards, she acquired various address registers and phone books and systematically killed the people listed in them. Unsuspecting victims could be safe at home, only to suddenly have their limbs severed. The string death shook society to its core. Yeah, this is a stupid ending. I'm sorry, but Ayame is a terrible character, and whoever wrote her is very lazy. All things must come to an end, and so, in time, the killing stopped. Sometime after the killings, a modern-day genius female ukiyo artist burst onto the art scene. She introduced herself as the mysterious Mad Paintress, and her fame grew quickly as she presented one incredible work after another. Praised as the modern reincarnation of Katsushika Hokusai, she quickly made her own mark on history. Lame. Boring. Okay. So we've solved, or not solved, we've completed all these, like, direct storylines, so let's get the true ending now. So I think it's here. Hmm. It's little... I knew I didn't like her from the beginning. Huh? Oh, good, you're awake. What? Are you okay? You're so rattled and confused, I thought you'd already lost it. Do you feel dizzy? Have a headache? Are your humors off balance? Wait, what did you say? You're the one who said it earlier. Oh, right, that might have been it. My humors were off balance. What, back there? You didn't like that because of your humors? Yeah, I've heard that bit of... Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try to fast forward to the part where. Hold on. Maybe it's not this part. I'm gonna check something real quick. I think it's this one. I swear to God, like Shogo better survive on this one. Maybe Shogo is the. Maybe Shogo is Saiyaman. Maybe that's why he has a high spiritual like output, and that's why Yoko killed him. Cause uh, or if Yoko is like the other person, then it makes sense that they'd want to kill the Saiyaman, right? Okay, let's see if we can fast forward. No, there's no fast forward option. Come on, man. Or is it? Or is this guide just wrong? I think this guide's just wrong. Oh wait, I think it's gonna be this one. Man. Okay, yeah, it's this one. Sorry that you guys had to watch me. Okay. So I am following a spoiler-free walkthrough for this part so that we can actually, you know. Okay. So this one was the beckoning light. Oh, that's why Shogo keeps seeing it. Cause yeah, this is Seimon. Interact with it. I swear to God, I did this before. Am I supposed to touch it? Okay, so okay, if this just triggers the true ending, then I guess I don't really need to do anything else. Uh, okay, I'll try to do what I can myself, and then if I'm just like if I just want to finish it, I'm just gonna use the rest of the spoiler-free walkthrough. My, finally, you have arrived at this juncture. I expected no less from you. That would mean that you have managed to bring everything to light. Now, there is a possibility that you have wound up here by chance. So before I take you any further, I must ask you a number of questions. About what exactly the soul, body, and mind of Seiman's Chimikado are. Firstly, which Kurosaka represents the soul of Seiman's Tsuchimikado, the beckoning light? Yes, that is exactly it. After his defeat at the hands of Ashino in the Honjo incident, Seiman wandered about near Honji. The form of his Kurosaka changed over time with the legend he left behind. This is a Kurosaka which is acquired by Bayut Chozawa, but when called forth by Seiman's body and mind, it appeared momentarily before him. Let us continue. Who served as the self? Who was his body, his descendant who carried his blood in their veins? I'm gonna say Yoshimi just now to be safe, maybe? Okay, I'm gonna put in my theory then. I'm gonna put Shogo, because if this thing's approaching Shogo. So show me Shogo, Shogo's related to Yoshimi and Michio, maybe? Correct again. Although Shogo was born into an ordinary family, the blood of a distant relative ran thick in his veins. In truth, the same is true for Yoko Fukunaga. She was also... Yes, I knew it. She was also the one who had blood of distant relative coursing through her. In her case, it was Ashino. Seiman and Ashino fated to meet again, all these hundreds of years later. And to think Shogo had a crush on Yoko. Like, come on, man, please, why couldn't you change Ashino? Seiman clearly still, like... Seiman's blood still clearly had a thing for you. Now, for my final question. Who is the mind of Seiman Tsuchimikado? Tell me the name of the person whose consciousness was directly tied to his. Consciousness of Seiman Tsuchimikado. Uh, I mean, I wanted to say it was Tetsuo, but I'm assuming it can't be Shogo either, which means that there's very little people. I don't think it's Yumioka, because Yumika seemed kind of like he didn't know what he was doing. Okay, I'm gonna look at the spoiler if we walk through. Uh, oh my god, that's kind of annoying. It says that it's us, it's the player. We are the consciousness of Seiman, which is why they had us type in our name at the beginning of the game, but despite us not actually like referring to it in entirety, which makes sense because like when I remember when I put my name in, I was like, wait, why do they need my name if we're just gonna play as Shogo? But I can't remember how I put my name. I think it was just Kev. Was it Kev? Oh wait, no. I think it was. Yo, was it this guy? He did. Okay, maybe it's caps. I think sensitive. You're saying you believe it to be yourself? That's so annoying. If you didn't remember, if you put something stupid as your name, yes, you're correct. Finally, you have remembered. Hold on, let me see. Like, yeah, there's no record of your name anywhere. So if you put something stupid as your name, you wouldn't even be able to do it. That's right. You are Sandman's consciousness, awoken by the curses and the rite of resurrection. However, having lost your memories, you forgot about the duty assigned to you. This is, if I may say so, where I played my part, guiding you through the events of the story. As your consciousness was all that was left to you, you manipulated time and space by way of the story chart, jumping from vessel to vessel. Oh, so it's not locked to one person. Manipulate your host's action by whispering commands into their ears. In doing so, you're able to get the full picture of what needed to be done. But at one point, while still unconscious, you managed to remember your duty. The so-called mastermind behind these events, the one who awakened the rite and the curses, was Yoko Fukunaga, descendant of Ashino herself. You unconsciously activated your curse and killed her. How interesting that she awakened Seiman's consciousness at the same time as the curses. That was the one and only time she could have been stopped. But due to your influence on Shogo Okia's will, Yoko Fukunaga was brought back to life, using the story chart to undo her death. I led you to believe that it was the work of the Rite of Resurrection itself. But as it turns out, seeing what would transpire if the mastermind was not killed at the outset is what ultimately revealed the way to put an end to the curses for good. There were certain things which would have answered all your questions had you noticed them. For example, even while under your control, Shogo Okie willingly used his curse. Yeah, okay. When I asked you earlier on how many Shogo Okie had killed, this is what I meant. Had you not used the curse, Shogo Okie would have done so of his own accord. Furthermore, Mayu Chozawa was able to recall information which only you knew. She was able to do this because she was connected to you through her curse echo, the beckoning light. Housekeeper. Continue practice monitor. Enter the seal right join the indicator. She became consumed with the ambition to restore her family's lost glory through her own powers. Scarlet seemed to succeed where Ashino failed and performed the rite of resurrection. But why does she use the same anecdotes or measures for alcohol for spirit sense as Tsutsumi? To revive Ashino, yeah. Yeah, soldiers. Thank you for giving to attending the choir before it posed an issue. Hajime, with the curse in an effort to scare him into revealing God's Guardian Scroll, she killed him with the curse to ensure Zeman's descendant would not stand in her way. That doesn't explain how like they died. Like Yoshimi died a very specific. He died of blunt force trauma, but like the Whispering Canal one is the walking away and then you get drowned. I think. A cottage shirt located nearby and subject to monitor. Yeah, so we should have just left her dead. Now, let me ask you one last question. If you, knowing all that you know now, had the ability to resurrect one life, what would you do? Oh, I see, I see. That was Seimon's original intention. I apologize for leaving it out of the options when I first asked you this question. Now, it is time to bring things to a close. Upon your arrival here, the rite of cleansing was activated, dispelling all other rituals and curses. Look upon the fruit of your efforts. So we get to see everyone happy, and then we shall leave this world behind for good. Please let there be like an actual good end for everybody. Thank you, truly, for all the work you've done. Shogo, Okie, 1 a.m. So I don't understand, why did Yoko look scared though? Like, and how did she die so easily? She didn't really try to get away, right? I finally understand. Yeah, I was the one who did that to Yoko. I had a feeling, but the blood of the Onmyoji that's inside me broke into my consciousness and gave me that curse. Yoko was after the rite of resurrection. She was the one who awakened the curses of the 7 mysteries and cast the Feast of Shadows. And the only way to stop all of it was to put a stop to her here. Otherwise, the rite of cleansing might have been negated too. I wonder how much of it was really her doing all those things. Yoko. I guess that explains why I felt like it was fate when this all started. But she didn't seem to notice. I guess things were always destined to end like this, from the moment we met. Sorry, Shug, we're gonna have to find another girl to head on. I wish we could have met under different circumstances. No, no point in thinking like that now. God, I need a drink. Yeah, me too. I'm thinking a Moscow Mule, or 2, or 3. Yeah, everyone's gonna get there. Okay, everyone's gonna get closure somehow. But does that mean she doesn't find out about her case? Ma'am, what is it? Just a dream. It seems that it was all just a dream. I dreamt that there was such a thing as the rite of resurrection. Just a dream. I'm sorry to say it, but there isn't. Right. Of course not. But even if there is no such thing, I promise you that I will get to the bottom of the kidnapping. In fact, I've happened to find a very important lead from over a year ago. Something that's evaded our reach until now. An eyewitness from the scene of the kidnapping. But doesn't this mean Yoshimi and Michi are still dead, though? I see. Yeah, so these people just don't participate in it. Uh, whoa, what the hell is this? The medical unit told me to get down here. What happened? As I was looking into Yoshimi's death at the former Yatsuro's garden, another body was discovered at a different park in the area. Could they be related? Sure looks like it, but... Excuse me, we found this among the victim's belongings. Thought you'd want to know. What's this? What? What the hell? Boss, look what was in the female victim's address book. Yoshimi's phone number and photo. What? And the picture. There's an X drawn on it, and a bunch of weird symbols, and a hole where his heart would be. Oh, so she just used a different curse, just not a rite of resurrection curse. Do you think? I mean, could this be some kind of curse or something? How many times I've tell you not to try to connect everything to the old call? Damn it! Is this a Nakagoshi case after all? Huh? What was that, boss? Nah, don't worry about it. Make sure you put up that photo into evidence. There's no doubt that this is related to Yoshimi. Make sure you do a thorough sweep of the area. I'm gonna make a phone call. Got it. Leave it to me. Spend as long as you want on the phone. Yako Sakazaki, 1 a.m. Mio! It turns out Michio really did die in an accident. Yeah, if we ask around, we might be able to get a little more information. I guess there never really was such a thing as the rite of resurrection. But I did feel like there was a spirit watching over us. I mean, I feel like the events did help some people find the information they needed, but I guess nobody was happy at the end. Damn it, why? Nothing's happening. But now my contract won't be... No. I should never have believed in this blasted record of fates. I don't remember everyone's voices anymore. To all of you watching from far, far away, the rite of resurrection has never existed. Not in any world, not in any time. So I ask you to take the life you hold and move boldly forward, one step at a time. Richter, you wise out. Do you want to question him? Hang on, Ariel. I want to get enough evidence for a search warrant. Let him go for now, and I'll follow him. That's the kidnapper? Okay, so it looks like they are giving us bits and pieces of, thing. Yes, I'm the one who did it. So please, help me. She's always following me. Oh, I don't like seeing Mio cry. I'm so sorry, Michio. I had no idea. I guess this is when they find out about, like, what her life was like. What? Hajime was killed? By this Yoko Fukunaga? How can that be? He wasn't the kind of guy who could just be picked off like that. You know that. Yeah, and boss is hiding something. There seems to be some kind of secret hidden in Hajime's family tree. Let me see if I can find out what it is. This song's pretty dope. I had heard you would be absent today. Is there something you need? Well, I seem to have this spirit sense thing all of a sudden. I know it's the sort of thing our chairwoman doesn't approve of, so I thought I'd mention it. Okay, so Shoko does get to live. Nice. And Tetsua's still alive, so you could have called. Didn't think you were the standoffish type. Had to find out from you why. Oops, sorry. I forgot all about my favorite chief inspector. The hell are you planning? Nothing so heinous as you're thinking. I'm only Makoto Ashimiya now, after all. Nothing but a lowly janitor. How are things with you? You getting along with your daughter? So just like he could have been? Well, you know, more or less. Please, come on, please. There's no reconciliation for them? Oh, it's a video. Better not just be the credit scroll. I can look around to get the sticker, the last sticker. Oh, it is the credit scroll. Okay, well, I'm gonna let the credits actually scroll for this ending. While it's scrolling, I'm gonna talk about my thoughts on the game, if I enjoyed it or not. First of all, I did enjoy it. Doesn't matter how anything ends, honestly, a lot of time. Actually, no, that's not true. There's so many things where like the ending is so bad that I just like I threw the books out or stuff like that. But in terms of this, it's not a bad ending. But am I like completely satisfied with it? Not 100%. I think you can guess why. I really wanted there to be some sort of reconciliation between Tetsuo and his daughter. I also thought that some of the big character moments were a bit wasted. Like for the whole Ashimiya or Nejima scene, like it literally seems like just because of the fact Yoko died, he doesn't become this crazy person anymore. He's like chill, but I don't think that's the case with like how people really are. Um, which is kind of weird. It's just like, oh yeah, if Miyoko dies, then yeah, he's a good guy. He's just a janitor. I mean, maybe that's not what they're implying, but that's just like that. Like that's just the vibe you get from it. In terms of Shogo, I'm glad he's alive. Uh, Honestly, the way the story's written is kind of a really roundabout way of saying, yeah, you didn't really need to do anything at all. Actually, you already completed the game by killing Yoko at the beginning. You just got to the ending by taking extra steps. Um, the only like bright side on that was the extra steps going through all the other motions was we learned more about the characters, so that's where the character development happened. That's where the lore happens. Which for people who like lore and character development, that's fine. That's great. I love that. But for the ending itself and the purposes it serves, it makes me feel like, oh yeah, you're just taking extra steps to get there, which I don't 100% approve. There's a lot of games that like try to incorporate the like moving back and forth in a story chart into the story itself, and honestly, I'm kind of sick of that. It does help make the experience less jarring when you're doing that, um, since you are like technically time traveling to points and having information that you wouldn't have before. But honestly, so many stories have done that I'm kind of somewhat sick of it. Um, Otherwise, like a lot of the other character moments, like I think they're pretty fantastic. I feel like a lot of characters didn't get a lot of time to shine. Like Mayu didn't get time to shine. Hitomi didn't get time to shine. Uh, Even a lot of the main characters, Yako didn't actually get time to shine. Like the protagonists weren't actually protagonists. They were just people. There are people from which you could observe the events. So like Yako, Harue, they're just tagging along most of the time. Let's see if there's anything after this. No, nothing. Yeah, so like Mayu, Yako, Harue, like most of the time it just felt like they were tagging along. The only part of this game where like there's actually gameplay was the darkness part where you're trying to get out. I kind of wish there were more elements like that. But honestly, I did come into this expecting it just to be pure story, um, and not like 999 or Professor Layton or anything like that. And it's hard to incorporate gameplay into like pure story-driven stuff. So I understand that. In terms of just like how some characters develop, like for example, Harue. I think Harue's story goes too quickly from like everything up until the last parts of her story. She's like, no, I'm gonna do whatever it takes. I don't care if I have to kill other people. I don't care if I have to take other people's curse stone. I'm gonna do what it takes to get my son back. And there's no character moment that really gives Harue uh like a moment where she flops over back to the side. I don't know, maybe I missed it. I feel like maybe if they had a bigger speech about how um I guess Ayame was supposed to be the one who gave that speech, but honestly Ayame wasn't really compelling because Ayame technically had the same idea as Harue. Both of them were willing to take people down to achieve their resurrection goal. So it's kind of weird from like to have the moment where Haruo is like, no, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. I'll give you my curse stone, and I'm not gonna think of resurrecting my son anymore. It's kind of weird to have that moment with Ayame. I think it'd make more sense if that moment came from someone else, and they're like, oh, uh, would your son really be happy coming back to life in these circumstances, knowing that they're a killer? If that came from like Richter a bit, but honestly, Richter has also forsaken the police a bit, and he's kind of underhanded in the way he does things. Like he's clearly okay with other people killing and then taking the curse stone, which I think as a pure cop like Tetsuo, that was never okay. So I think having Richter do that for Haruo would also be somewhat, I don't know, like not in character. I think it would have to be one of these guys. Like maybe they could have tied it to Erio. Like maybe Erio was someone that actually knew her son, and like he was the one that gave that like inspiring speech. Like I think that would have worked. It would have also gave Edio more of a role in terms of being other than just this like assistant to Tetsuo, or being this like the funny man to Tetsuo's straight man. Um, I think Edio is a character that has so much potential in this, and I think he could have helped Haruo's storyline reach its natural conclusion rather than having it kind of be a bit rushed in that regard. Richter, uh, also I felt like he was a bit too. I don't know. Like I don't know how I feel about Richter. Uh, like he's this big shot detective, but like I feel like he never actually really contributed much, other than leading Haruo where she needed to be. And Haruo didn't even actually need to be anywhere. Every time she was there, she was just a set piece, which I hated, because I love her character, number one waifu, and she's just standing there going like, "Oh, okay," half the time. Um, so big miss there. I think the most rounded storyline is Tetsuo and Erio. I think Tetsuo has the deepest relation to most of the characters, to a degree. But even then, I feel like he didn't handle, like I said earlier, he didn't handle the way his final conclusion very well. But it makes sense. Like he's not the type of person to immediately just change all of a sudden. He still values his police work, and he still values like life and not hurting people, stuff like that. Uh, that's why he took her in the first place. So that all makes sense. I just wish that he was a bit more forthcoming about like he eventually did tell Ayame that, yeah, like you're my daughter, but I wish he would have been like, hey, you might be Nejima's, but you're not his daughter. You're my daughter. Like everything, it goes beyond just blood. It's not just blood that makes you family. It's thing. But Tetsuo didn't have the right to say that either because like he wasn't really there. And I really wish they included a moment where he actually was there for her. Like honestly speaking, I feel like her killing Nejima and then being distraught about it wasn't necessary. I think it would have been more I think it would have been more, uh, I don't know, moving. I don't know if that moving is the right word, but if Ayame was still with Nejima, and then there was like a final showdown between him and Nejima, and then like that's when all the like stuff came out. Like let's say for example, Nejima kidnapped her, and she wasn't able to kill him, and then there was a showdown, and then he revealed that he sort of revealed that, yeah, Ayame, you're my kid, or like I created you during the rite, and then like that's how it gets slipped that Ayame was adopted in that instance, and then Tetsu has to come clean in that moment, and then it shows how much he cares about her because like I don't know, something happens that like puts her life at risk and it like almost kills him. I think that would show like the relationship that those three have a lot more tightly. Um, and then in the final one, Yako also, like after Michio's arc as a ghost was over, Yako was a set piece as well. She only existed in this storyline simply to be a vehicle for Michio's spirit. which it's fine in this regard. But if they're gonna do that, I think they should keep Michio's spirit until the end, and they should have her play one final part before she moves on. Um, because otherwise, Yaku didn't actually do much in the end, and I feel like that was a wasted opportunity. I feel like what they should have done at the end was something to do with Mio. I feel like Mio is like one of the best characters in the series. She progressed a lot of the story herself, and she's also one of the most interesting in terms of expanding the universe into. Like they can make a game based entirely off of Mio. So she could be the protagonist for the next game. Same with Tetsuo, Shogo, yeah, possibly. But yeah, one thing that they did mention was that Mio like moved around from school to school a lot, so she didn't really have friends. And I really feel like they should have kind of put that into this a bit more. Like, Yako is a friend that Mio can count on, and that they've formed this bond that can't actually be broken. They sort of give it like they try to rush that friendship so that it's believable, but I feel like they could have just added a couple extra scenes to really drive that home. And Mayu got the short end of the stick. Her fiance died, nothing to show for it. And she got captured, and then she just got out. And then she's like, okay, yeah, I'll just, do everything that you guys want me to do. I think Mayu's character exists in the storyline specifically just to speed up the ending of the story and get everything where it needs to be on time. So those are my gripes with it. I don't know if you'll agree. You'll probably have things that I overlooked that you could like, argue and say that no, this does make sense, and I'd be happy to read all your points. Um, but that's just how I interpreted it. And honestly, I think for stories, um, the biggest thing that you want to get out from a story is how do you interpret it? How do other people interpret it? What can you learn from it? And if your opinion changes after hearing someone else's, that's great as well because it means you've learned from that as well. Um, Overall, though, did I enjoy this game? Yeah, I absolutely loved it. I thought the music was great. I really wish there was like a heavier tear-jerker scene. Um, Definitely didn't hit me as hard for some scenes, but it might just be because my voice acting was so bad that I couldn't actually absorb the full extent of the emotions, um, which would be unfortunate. But I love the art design. I really wish there were more games that looked like this. And I really hope that they continue this like as a franchise because I really do want to see Mio, I want to see Shogo, I want to see Tetsuo and Erio in future stories where they're doing like investigations on supernatural stuff. I don't know, maybe I'll write to Square Enix and ask them to make more. But otherwise, I'm not gonna hold my breath. Um, but yeah, I think that's all my thoughts on this game. Thanks so much for joining me through this wonderful experience. Thanks for listening to my voiceover work. Hope you enjoyed that as well. And I'm gonna be like possibly starting another visual novel type games shortly. It's gonna be on Switch. I don't exactly know 100% how the tech works on that. Like I've never captured from a Switch before. So hopefully I can figure that all out. But um, yeah, if you guys have any other games that you think I would really enjoy, or you just want to see me voice, then like leave a note in the comments and I'll be happy to take a look and potentially play those in the future. Um, Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, but honestly, you do whatever you want, and I just appreciate you for watching whatever I put out if you do watch it. And thanks again for joining me. Have a good one.